Hello. Okay, I'm a week behind, but I guess I never really, if I took like 6 years off, I never really said I had to do these every single week. I'm trying to. I never said I had to. Anyway, a little update. Week 36, about to go into week 37. I really struggled with this one. I did anything else I could work on other than this for almost the whole 2 weeks until today. I almost pushed through a week ago and just spent a day doing this, and then I started to look up the lyrics online for my own songs. I know. I didn't write the lyrics. They're Shakespeare, and they were adapted by Corey James Kruckerberg, who lives in New York City now with his partner, Tom Gustafson, and the two of them, I haven't talked yet today, and the two of them are the creators. Tons of other movies too, Mariachi Gringo, a new one, Glitter and Doom. Let's see, they're working with the Indigo Girls. They worked on Hello Again with Michael John LaChiusa. But I was, the composer on pretty much like their first feature film. And it's very cool, very big honor. I don't know why I showed you my Gerby. And it was called Were the World Mine, and that's what this stood for. Record piano vocal for the 10 Were the World Mine songs. Turns out there were 9 songs, but in the old score from when we did a stage reading in New York City, I think in 2005, the film came out in 2008. I think in 2005, when we were trying to get funding for the movie musical, we did like a full stage reading in New York City, and I had just moved away from there a couple years earlier, and so I didn't even think enough of it at the time, but it was a big deal. I flew out, I played piano, I taught all the performers in just a few days. They all stood on stage, sang all these parts, and did a full stage version of the show. And so then, came out as a movie, won a ton of awards. There were requests for sheet music, and in the meantime, I lost my score. I had a hard drive crash, and I lost everything. And so all in the span of those few years, I had, was being written up all over the country, I think abroad too, for all these film festivals we were winning awards for best music and all that. New York Times is putting my name in it, Village Voice, Variety, and it was a huge deal for me. And so thank you, Tom and Corey, for that. And I remember when my hard drive crashed and I didn't have it backed up anywhere, I was horrified, mortified. And I think right after that was when Corey asked me if we wanted to publish sheet music, because the film was kind of like this cult hit kind of thing. It wasn't super financially successful. I think it did okay, but it, Anyway, got picked up. Wolf Video now has it on their YouTube channel if you want to watch it, WOLFE. It's surprising how many things in my life have circled around Wolf. I'm not even going to get into that. Anyway, so, still every year I get a request for sheet music, or I've had these choral groups, Buffalo Gay Men's Chorus, other places, all asking if they can adapt a song and do a choral version. And so it's never left me. It's been almost 20 years, and I keep getting little nudges from the universe to honor the work that was done, honor the project, do what I can. And so when I got this drawn out of my little thing, I was like, ugh, I can't imagine making a full score again of me singing and playing all of them, partly because I don't have the sheet music in front of me. I'd have to, so I went on to Ultimate Guitar to look up my own chord sheets, and I couldn't find them. And one that I found, even for the hit song Were the World Mine, was terrible. They got all the chords wrong, no offense. Not all, but half. Too many of the chords were wrong, and I was like, I don't want to sit here and make edits on somebody else's thing. And so I just kept putting it off, and finally ended up working on Punky Bear, naming Skylight. That might have been Skylights. I changed it. That might have been last week. And doing all this other work. And then I realized I was being held back by my tiny traumas, adding up Out of Body in Your Skin album. Being held back in the sense that I kept trying to put really sad songs in these future albums. Punky Bear, not really Phoenix, but Skylights. And, just Punky Bear. I was trying to put these sad songs from Tiny Traumas on that. Then I was making a folder of future albums I had to work on, and I put Tiny Traumas, this was one random day last week, I put Tiny Traumas as if Trees for Clouds was like my 6th studio album or something, I can't remember the numbers, and then Punky Bear was 7, Skylights was 8, and Phoenix was 9, and then States of Being and Believing, Volume 1 was 10, and then I put like Tiny Traumas adding up as 11, and that was completely insane. And so, hold on, I might be being interrupted. I'm doing my 52 Dreams thing right now. Can I keep going? I need to keep going because I can't pause it. Okay, keep dreaming. Thanks, husband. He's dancing for me. Okay, well, where was I? Skylights, and then, so then I put the Tiny Traumas, I put the Tiny Traumas album on my serious studio albums list in my, in my folder. I should not just talk with my hands. I can just show you these things. Well, it's not that interesting. I don't know. But it was in my Jessica, I have 3 different indie singer-songwriter folders. So it says, I don't think I can flip while I'm talking. So it says indie singer-songwriter, Jessica Fogel, Jitter, Wolfbird. And so Jessica Fogel music folder, Jessica in the Rainbow music. And those get a little blurred sometimes when I used my Jessica in the Rainbow challenges to pull old songs out from when I was Jessica Fogel, living in Chicago, releasing music under that name. Obviously, I was still Jessica Fogel. And then when I legally and even just performatively became Jessica Wolfbird, that was also separate, but I'm pulling songs from Jessica in the Rainbow into Jessica Wolfbird. But let's see if I even finished doing it. Yeah, I finished. So this was just last night. These, I got it right. 6 studio album as far as I count it. Trees for Clouds is done. Yay. But then I had it as Punky Bear, Skylight. I got to change it to Skylights because that feels right. I don't really have to do that right now, but why not? And then Phoenix, which is sung since we've moved here, St. Joseph, and that's like a lot of rebirth stuff. And then this is the 50 Songs in 50 States project, States of Being and Believing. And then after that, I had put 11 Tiny Traumas. And I think something in my soul was like puking at that idea of like 10 years from now, after I get all of these other studio albums done, I'm going to come back and revisit these Tiny Trauma songs that span all the way back to, I don't even know. At the time, I wasn't going to put songs from 2004 on it, but it still would have been spanning way back. And so something in me must have gotten upset and decided, this was just a few days ago, it was like, no, I'm just going to edit it and start working on it now and get it done. I had even thought I was going to have my nephew Nick do some of the mixing. So, long story, a little bit shorter, not short at all. I decided, I kind of had a very spiritual guidance feeling to take what was done. It included composing / decomposing. It included a tragedy, which is one that had stayed with me. It included 4 from the Chicago 3 through 12 albums that I wrote there that never got produced. It included 2 songs that were recorded. And then it went way back in time to 2 songs that were recorded in Chicago in 2004, which I didn't think I was going to include. Anyway, that's what I did most of the rest of the week. Camping first week, that project the next week. And then just this morning, I was like, crap, I got to get this done. So now I'm going to, so let me show you that. So, so I just put this up online. This is going to count instead of record piano vocal for the 10 for the Romine songs. I found the stage version that was recorded in 2005. Leveled out the songs somewhat. They're kind of quiet, but there they are. If anyone wants the credits, if you know you sang on that 20 years ago, let me know. I can probably find my program somewhere. I can credit you. But I just wrote in the little liner notes how archival this is. And this is just so I can make sheet music again someday. Or anybody else could listen to this and transcribe it. Because it turns out there's lots of people in the world who like making sheet music. I'm not one of them. And so I just slowed down and stalled so many of my projects. That's something I need to learn to spend the money on, is let other people transcribe my compositions if sheet music is needed. Okay, so that is done. I made this cute little silly cover. And now I will go downstairs. You want to come with Scout? Probably not. Okay, now I will go downstairs and draw the week 37 slip. Actually, I can just rip this one up because it's done. Okay, here we go. Love you, Scooby. I don't think he wants to come with me. Okay. Oh, I should get the light. Okay. There we go. So, week 37. I kind of need to, I'm very sentimental. I have never cleaned this art area back up since my niece and nephews were down here, but that was like a month ago. I have a very bad habit of honoring things by not touching them, not letting them move. And like as if by moving them, then I won't cherish it enough and I'll forget about how much it meant to me. And the thing is, that might be partly true because look, a month later, I just got to think of them. So maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself for being so sentimental. Okay, this lamp is not even plugged in over here. It's cute though. I brought that over for them. Okay, I've already shown you their art in a past video. Maybe two. Okay, so I won't get lost in that again. Big dreams, little dreams. What's going on this weekend? One family event. Time with my husband. Let's do big dreams. There are both. I'm going to do this yellow one. I don't remember what that is. Is there another yellow one? I felt a strong sense to do a yellow one. There's two yellow ones. Which one is it? I heard in my head the left one, and then I realized your left is different than my left. So my left is this one. Your left in this moment is this one. I'm going to try that one. I don't know why. I'm feeling it. Let me see my fanny pack. Okay. It looks like very crossed out. Like there was more written on here. Aww. Okay, it's cute. But it's not the mindset I'm in at all right now. But I'm going to have to get there. Transcribe Dreambird 3. So I'll tell you what that is. Week 37. Dreambird 3. If you go on dreambird.bandcamp.com and maybe any streaming place, I think under Dreambird. I think I finally uploaded the first two. They were written for my niece, the first one, and then my two nephews from the same family, the second one. They're my niece and nephews that live in Colorado. Oh, the ones who did all this crazy art. Awesome art, not crazy. And the ones who've done other art for me over the years. This is when they were very young. Anyway, so I wrote this kids' albums for them, with them. It started with my niece Brooklyn, and she kind of helped me when she was like 6 or 7 or 8 years old to make the first character, Lily the Little Pink Giraffe with rainbow spots. And that's my highest viewed video on my adult YouTube channel, still to this date. I just threw up the sketches and doodles with that audio, and people liked it. I tried putting it on a kid's YouTube, and it didn't do anything, so whatever. Like nobody saw it. But, I mean, nobody sees these. Mostly nobody, so whatever. Maybe I'll make that YouTube someday, figure all that out. It feels kind of weird because I know a bunch of regulations came around kids stuff, and so I don't want to violate anything or do anything wrong, and I got a little insecure about that after I saw those regulations come out. And I mean, it's good. I'm glad kids are being more protected. So anyway, and then I made the second album with no hoopla at all in 2023, I think, Christmas time, for the boys because they were getting old, and I was like, oh no. So now these are like still for these kids, but these kids are all getting old because I'm really slow at projects. Or take two. I'm really fast at projects like this Where the World 9 thing. I just uploaded that in like an hour and did all that, but I'm not slow at all. I just have so many projects. That's what it is. So I'm always choosing between them, which makes each one of them move slowly from outside appearances, but it's because I'm trying to tend a whole garden of creativity, not just one tree, like a whole forest floor or like a whole forest, like a whole state or national park. Yes, sir. Anyway, I don't know. 4 tangents popping in my brain. Something about my sister loving national parks. Okay, I gotta stop. Last but not least, so Dreambird, yes. And then I made the one for her kids, my sister who likes the national parks. coming together. Anyway, then that one got done. I never really did anything with it until I think last year. I put both of those Dreambird albums up on streaming so that they existed somewhere other than Bandcamp, which most people don't really know much about. And then last but not least, no, that's the last thing I did with it. I made all the kids' stuffed animals of their characters that were inspired by or for them. 8 of the kids. That's a long story. But I have made stuffies for 8 nieces and nephews. 7 from my side, and then I am now gaining more as I married Brian, and there's more kids. Anyway, but one of them's been in my life the whole time I've been with Brian, Josiah, so he has a stuffy. Anyway, so Dreambird 3, oh yeah, back to that, because that's what I have to do, is transcribe it. Dreambird 3, I was driving to Minnesota, I believe it was in February. It was actually a very important weekend in relation to tiny traumas. February 2026. Lots of conversations with my mom and dad. But on the way there, or no, it was a month later because my sister was there. So I went back to Minnesota a month later in March of 2026 and drove through the same way I always go, you know, kind of Wisconsin Dells and all that. But my sister was visiting her family at the Dells, her other side of her family, her husband's family, in Wisconsin. At the time I was driving through, and her kids were all there with her too. And so as I'm driving past the Dreambird 1 and 2 kids, I just started getting like a download from the universe of like, this is Dreambird 3. And I had been waiting on it because I knew it was for my niece Alice, who is definitely past kids music. She was never even that into kids music. She was like dancing to like not kids bop versions of real songs since she was a little kid. And so now she was an 8th grader, and I was just like, I can't really make her a kids album anymore. But it can just be like for her heart, not for her childness. But it just like, I was on my way to the town where Alice lives, driving past the Brooklyn Sawyer Sullivan world in central Wisconsin, and it was like, zoom, dumped in my head like a 20-minute, 30-minute, 40 minutes of voice memos or something. The whole story, the songs, everything. And I was driving while it came through, so I just hit record on a voice memo and just talked and sang to myself. And I think it started around Janesville, Wisconsin, and went till almost the Wisconsin Dells, or past the Wisconsin Dells. They were in Madison at the time. That's where they were. And so, yeah, that's where I was writing it. And this was 4 months ago. So now that would be fast moving for me. That's probably why I'm excited I pulled this one. Because I figured this would sit on my hard drive for about 3 years before I would deal with it. It's also, since writing a book, I've learned that it's pretty easy to transcribe. And so when I write books, I mean, I haven't finished my book, but I've done 2 writing retreats around it. And it's pretty far into the first draft, if not done, close to done with the first draft. And I have learned that Microsoft Word is great. And you can just make voice memos so you don't lose your ideas. I was driving all around Muncie, Indiana, where I did my first writing retreat, and just making voice memos of chapters and chapter titles and rambles, and then I'd get back to my friend David's apartment where I was trying to compile it all, and I'd just play the voice memo for the Microsoft Word dictation, and it would import it, and then I just, had to go back and edit those into actual understandable things. So I can't delete the voice memos because you might not be able to. It doesn't always get it right when it transcribes, but I'm gonna try that first because I know that would be easy. Just take the voice memos, set it up by my Microsoft Word, let it transcribe, and then format it. Oh, good. It doesn't say and then record the Dreambird 3 album. It just says transcribe it. Okay, that's doable in a week. Still big, but doable. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.